The live stream of tonight's podcast is made possible by our buddy Ian Service over at Motherfucker. Let's try that again. Here we go. Quiet on the set.
It's not going to do it. After
Live
all
stream
that.
of- Shush.
Wait, you should have been. All right.
Here we go. Tonight's podcast is made possible by our... Fuck off. Stupid soundboard.
You've never failed twice in a row.
Yeah, there's a first time for everything. Okay, this is it. The live stream of tonight's podcast is made possible by our buddy Ian Service over at podcastaccelerator.com.
That fresh produce stand there, that's a beauty.
What do you listen to?
My favorite murder podcast.
Taggart and Torrance podcast.
The produce stand.
Fucking sexy.
It's Thirsty Thursday, and that means we are once again hanging out at the Produce Stand, a podcast covering everything in the universe. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are many other Letterkenny podcasts out there, and two of them are being represented tonight. But this one wants to be your Valentine. Aww. I'm Al, your host, and joining me in the room, as always, is lovely Tanya. And online, we don't have Squirrely Matt, unfortunately. He can't join us tonight. He's still feeling under the weather. But we do have the very groovy Victor. And joining us this week... Hold on. They are the podcasting power couple, producers and hosts of How Are You Now, Podscure, Boondocks, Disputed, and the owners of the Podscure Podcast Network. Please join me in making some noise for Tiara and Dean.
Woo! Wondrous. Oh, my God.
Oh my god.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I regret nothing.
All right, a little bit of a rocky start, but we're gonna shake that shit off, and we're gonna finish strong. How are you guys doing?
I'm about to finish as it is. So I mean, that's
So there's a lot of excitement on the live stream. We have Adrian, Awesome, Dave, Aaron, Jeff, Tobias, Trace, and a couple of people are saying they're so excited to hear Dean and Tiara talk Letterkenny again. So
we do it once a month at least.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, the table read. If you guys aren't paying attention to the table read, you should be. You're missing out. And why don't we talk about that real quick off the top? So a couple of weeks ago, we did the Letterkenny Talent Show. That was a lot of fun. And you want to announce tonight what the next table read is?
Sure. I mean, do you have the audio? You want to play it?
You know what? I don't. I should be better prepared.
I sent it to you, man.
You know what? Okay, I've shut down my Discord.
You know what? I could play it through the
okay
through the YouTubes if I can share, because
absolutely.
All right, give me a moment. I'll bring that up. Your videos.
And while we wait for you to bring it up, I have to let everyone know, if you haven't listened to the table reads, they are amazing. Like, you guys have such a talent for pulling out the voices and it's just
the music.
It's a talent.
Oh, and the last table read, all music other than your intro and outro music was written and composed and recorded by none other than Dean himself, which was amazing.
Not all of it.
No.
There was a good, I think there were 3 in there that I had to fabricate in one way or another.
Yeah. Cause especially the very notable one is the one at the end during the line dancing scene where it's a very distinct song, but you couldn't use the actual song. So, but what you did create was great.
I don't want to get copyright
on
YouTube or anything like that. So
sure.
I always do if I don't have a license for it, which I usually get from Artlist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't, then I try to go create it myself. There's other places. There's freemusicarchive.org and other places like that. If I can't sort it out, then sometimes I make it.
Yeah, and it was
amazing.
Cool, yeah,
amazing.
All right, you got that thing queued up?
Yeah. Let's see. How do I share this? Share screen.
Yeah.
Right. There we go.
Make sure you check off audio.
Sound. Yep. There we go. And share. And you seeing my screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Attention all Letterkenny fans. Get ready for a special event from the one and only New York Times bestselling author, David Mack. The next table read for the hit show is about to take off with an out-of-this-world episode titled UFO. Join us for the live stream event on Tuesday, February 28th, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss this chance to see your favorite characters come to life in a new and exciting way, all from the pages of a script by the talented David Mack. Mark your Facebooks, grab a puppers, and pitter-patter for a wild ride with Letterkenny. Tune in live on the 28th, only on youtube.com/howareyounowpod.
Very cool.
There you go.
Nice.
Looking forward to that.
Nice.
I mean, and we've done a David Mack script before. Was it Hunger, right? Hunger or Hungry? I forget now. Or
Hungry.
Yeah.
Hangry.
Hangry. Yeah.
And it was so
And
well
that
written.
read so well.
Yeah.
It was like a show that we've actually seen.
Yeah.
Like it was so Letterkenny.
So this one here looks like it'll be a lot of fun. All about UFOs.
Yeah.
Exit. Sharing screen.
Stop share. There it is. Jesus Christ. It's so tiny and on another little screen. So
Yeah. All good. Anyway, here we go.
How are you now?
Tonight's lineup is Tanya, Matt, Tanya, Al, Victor, and our guest Dean Tiara will have the last word. Tanya, how have you been?
It's Thursday, and I didn't realize it. I've been a day ahead of the day that I felt like I'm on. Like I'm all messed up. I really am. I'm messed up.
What does that mean?
So I was off last week because my shoulder put me in the hospital the Thursday before the week began. Oh my God. How much nonsense am I making?
A lot right now. Good thing you got the wine there. Okay.
So just connect the dots where you can. All right, people. So I was off all last week. I was on painkillers. Found out morphine does not work for me. Found out Tylenol 3 does the trick. And slept most of the week, was in pain when I was awake. And then it was slowly getting better. And I then went full throttle on what day? Thursday? I don't even know. Tuesday with full throttle.
Tuesday.
I know. Tuesday. So, I was bad, and I was trying to catch up with work nonstop and hurt my shoulder again.
But you're not on any medication.
I'm not on medication. Well, at the moment, and I'm taking that moment because I started a bottle of wine before I got, like, it was the Thursday we had our podcast, and then the Friday I was in the hospital.
Sounds like the beginning of an excuse.
So this has been sitting around in the bottle. It's not great at this point, but I'm like, it's wine. At this point, I'm going to finish the bottle because I know chances are by Saturday I'll be on painkillers again. So I'm trying to take this opportunity. I went to the physio. I went to physio today, and I'm all like,
What's
I'm like,
You're bitten by a cordyceps.
She's taped up.
I'm all taped up.
Can't see because it's
my skin tone.
The KT, yeah.
So I'm all taped up.
For those listening, Tanya's
I'm
stripping for us
yeah.
right now.
she's just showing her shoulder.
I'm
Her
trying.
bare shoulder,
Showing her
Victor.
shoulder in bondage.
My shoulder that looks, it's all taped, so it doesn't matter. Can't see
Hey,
it
we don't
anyways.
king shame.
Makes you look like an athlete.
Right? I feel like an athlete with it. I'm like, oh yeah.
An injured
So-
athlete.
I know how to use that tape on knees thanks to roller derby.
You feel
Oh,
like
wow. That's right.
you feel like
right.
Olympic gold medalist Tess Bonham.
Yeah. So
No
this
silver. No
This
silver.
is supposed to pull my shoulder back. I don't know. I had ultrasound again, and I had more electrodes. I don't know. I'm like, I make too much bone. This is my problem. I'm making calcium deposits are just like running rampant. Like this shouldn't be.
You're just asking for it.
Right?
See
Bone.
who your audience is? Come on.
Just making bones everywhere.
It's not your fault that Dean went the wrong way with that. Like we live 2 steps below the gutter most of the time, so we have to this is
We're in the basement below the gutter.
No worries. I'm usually there myself, and I throw myself into it all the time. So yeah, that's my week, and I'm so thankful tomorrow's Friday, and we have a teenage birthday party coming at us on Saturday.
Yeah. Budget's 16-year-olds in the
God.
basement. That'll be fun.
So yeah, that's why I'll be on painkillers that day.
so glad we never have any more teenager parties.
That's my week. Go for it.
And the boy's probably going to get his learner's permit on Saturday, hopefully, if he
Right.
passes the test. So that
Apparently, anxiety can contribute to shoulder pain because you hold your arms up. Apparently, and I'm like, and then I start recognizing, oh crap, I am doing that. Here I'm like, well, I don't know why it's doing it, but yeah, okay, now I do.
Yeah, take a sip of wine.
Cyclobenzaprine.
Yeah.
No, you gotta be hard on cyclobenzaprines before you can drink wine with it. Like I'm at the point where I can take one and I'm not sleepy at all. I can drink on it. You probably could not.
Oh,
I mean, I just want to pass out anyway. So
Pass out on a 5 milligram, a 10 milligram plus wine. Maybe I'm tired.
ugh.
I'm sleeping for a week then.
I'm sleeping for.
Don't see a
That would
problem.
be-
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm feeling great.
Oh,
Actually, well rested, slept well. My sleep score has been off the charts this
Yeah,
week.
you've been
It's been great.
snoring.
Anyway,
And I can't attack you. This is probably from attacking you at night.
from punching me,
From
yeah.
punching. Well, no, I don't punch you anymore. I take away your pillow anymore.
This week has been, fun. Saturday I had my show, and we had a great time, and what a great turnout, fun crowd. Just working this week. And Tanya and I started on the recommendation of one of our Jeff,
right?
Jeff on Discord recommended Shrinking.
Yes.
Not Shrinkage, which is the mistake I made earlier.
Different thing.
Not
Shrinking.
soaking.
Very different show.
Different thing.
And it is great.
Yeah.
It
Don't
is
say
so good.
anything. I haven't started.
So it's written, co-written or something by the guy from Ted Lasso. What's his name? Goldstein, I want to say his name is.
Brett Goldstein.
Yeah. So
Oh,
good.
okay.
So good with Harrison Ford, the guy from How I Met Your Mother. I forget his name now, the tall guy. But just
He was
really,
the Minnesota guy.
yeah,
Oh, my
really well written,
God. I
like
don't remember his-
well written show. Lots of heart so
I
far.
want to say his first name is Jason.
Jason Segel, I think,
Segel.
right?
Yeah.
Siegel, yeah.
Jason Segel. Thanks, Adrian. Yeah. So really well written, lots of heart, and dealing with, they're like therapists or psychiatrists or something, but,
You're spoiling it.
no, I'm just telling you
It's the synopsis.
that's it. And only 3 episodes in. Unfortunately, it's on Apple, so that means they're releasing it weekly, which sucks because Tanya and I would
Just
have already.
wait for all the episodes to come out and then what?
There were
binge it.
3 when we started.
Yeah, there were 3 and we started. Anyway, we binged
right.
those really fast
Yeah.
because it was really good. Anyway, highly recommend Shrinking, not Shrinkage.
You were going to do it again.
Shrinkage.
Victor, how have you been?
I don't know what's going on.
and we started Veep.
Oh yeah, that's right. And we started Veep too. And I know that's an older show, but Tanya wanted she heard an interview with Julia Louis-Dreyfus and wanted to watch this show. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm in.
And now
I tried it. I don't like it.
I can't. I don't know whether I'm going to make it through because I'm like, oh my God, because it's even if it's a hint true of what happens in politics, I'm like, oh my God, I can't stomach it. It's disgusting.
It's not a great picture that it paints.
Yeah. Anyway.
But it's pretty funny. It's really well written, but
Yeah.
kind of scary at the same
Yeah.
time. Victor?
I don't know what's going on. Tanya's giving out bones, and you're talking about shrinkage. It's I don't know if it's coming or going.
Easy.
I'm throwing a third arm.
Let's see. I'll keep it short. It's been, I can't believe it's Thursday again because I feel like no time has passed. But the only thing I can think of is we did start watching a show that we almost finished. That is kind of quirky and it's not in English, but we're watching it in English because I'm too lazy to read. It's Alpha Males. And it's on Netflix, and I don't know, there's something intriguing about it that we just kept going back to it, and they did announce the second season, and we've got 1 episode left in this season. And it's a pretty funny, quirky show about
What language is it in?
I'm not sure what the original language is.
Oh.
Maybe Italian. I don't know. I'll have to take a look because we've just been watching.
Or
it
was there a
without-
lot of this? And,
Oh my.
there may have been some of it. That's not appropriate.
Right.
a lot of hand waving. What's not appropriate?
Actually, we have a friend back in Seattle who is Italian from Italy, and Dean and him joke like that exactly
Yeah,
Yes.
all the time.
absolutely.
Shout
Yeah,
out to Dario.
If you want to shut an Italian man up, tie his hands together.
Anyway,
Hey, I'm
Anyway,
Portuguese.
somebody
I'm
on the live
Italian
stream-
adjacent.
Italian adjacent.
somebody on the live stream can look it up for us,
Yeah.
the language, and they can report back.
Oh yes, I've heard good things about Poker Face. So that's Jeff's next recommendation is Poker Face.
Yeah, we have that on our list as well.
Have y'all been watching The Last of Us?
No, just not into the zombie genre.
I think I'm done.
It's so much more than that.
I've heard. Yeah, I mean, I might give it a go, but I don't know. I don't know if Daniel.
I'm not excited.
And I am a fan of the genre, but if I wasn't a fan of the genre, I can say as someone who doesn't like watch a whole lot of TV, this is some of the best TV I've watched in a really long time.
I've heard like really great things about it. Yeah.
Visually gorgeous. They if you play video games, it stays really close to the storyline, but changes it in ways that actually help the story and like fill out the story instead of just being filler. It what's his name?
Craig Mazin is the guy who's wrote for Chernobyl. The showrunner for Chernobyl is
right. I love Chernobyl. That was great.
Yeah.
So same guy.
As well as the guy who produced the video game, Druckmann.
And they actually brought in a lot of the voice actors to play characters in the TV show, which I fully appreciate as a aspiring.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I never played the game, but I give it a chance. It's just we begrudgingly got through the final season of Walking Dead, and we just
we dinged out on that years ago.
Yeah, well, we did as well, but we got kind of sucked back in, and we watched it only just because, just to see the ending.
You're pod committed at that point. You needed to.
Yeah,
finish
exactly. It. Yeah, but it was terrible.
Show goes over like 3 or 4 seasons. I have to admit, my attention span wanes unless I'm just starting and I've got 4 or 5 seasons to watch. Like that's a different story.
Yeah, but when you have to wait a year or whatever for sure.
I
loses momentum, right?
Yeah. I'm not gonna waste my time waiting for something and anticipating something that I've probably forgotten most of whatever happened the last time I watched it.
Right.
But that's me.
Well, and speaking of you, how have you been?
Me? I've been okay, actually. When I finish the paper I'm working on right now, I'll have finished my first grad school class. So yeah,
amazing.
That's exciting.
Yes, and I'm much more suited for the program I'm in instead of trying to force my brain into.
Feels like a better fit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I cannot put up with people who essentially, like, without going into it too much, like. There's a lot of eugenics in psychology, and psychology. When you're going to school to work in that field, especially if you were doing research, which was what I wanted to do, it's really hard to avoid a lot of stuff that pathologizes essentially people that I know.
Right.
Pathologizes me.
Yeah.
As if somehow things that are different about me make me. Like that it's something that can be cured. Right. And that just really rubbed me the wrong way, especially because half the people in my group were going for their BCBA, which is I think Canada has outlawed it, but ABA is basically it's a behavioral therapy that has changed over the years, but what it's based on is the same thing as gay conversion therapy. With a lot of the exact same what the outcome, what they want it to be. It's about changing your behavior in front of other people and never dropping that mask. And I think that is torture.
Right. That's something that still happens?
Yeah. ABA is the biggest scam. Like if you've ever heard of Autism Speaks, those go side by side. Like it's fucking terrifying.
Wow.
In Europe, especially in like the UK and in the US, the way that autistic people are pathologized is really, it's frightening. And honestly, Canada does it too. I know which, because I found out that I could be denied entry in Canada for being autistic if I wanted to be there permanently, even though I'm a dual citizen. So like it's all over the world. It's seen as something because it's taught as something that is wrong with these people and that needs to be fixed and cured. When what it really is just a different way of experiencing the world. And if quote unquote society would, not be such assholes, probably would be fine. You probably wouldn't have any of the things that bother you, because those are the symptoms that, people see and associate with autism. Someone who's in distress, not the people that are actually mentally healthy, because there aren't a lot of us.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the program you're taking?
Stepping off my soapbox.
No, it's fine.
I switched to curriculum and development. My plan is to create curriculum in the field specific with social emotional learning.
Cool.
So hopefully schools will want to include it into their academic curriculum. That's the goal. So basically professional development, teaching other teachers, that sort of thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're doing that.
Yeah.
And Dean, how about you? How have you been?
I've gone into porn.
That sounds about right.
I've got some extra bone if you want.
Only audio porn, right? Like,
oh yeah, audio porn.
Fuck.
I could do that. I could do that.
You've seen
Animated audio porn.
Oh my!
I got you with the Mighty Burger. So in a way, I'm getting into voiceover, voice acting, two different things. And I've got gigs up on Fiverr for different things.
Nice.
I've got I'm set up on Casting Call Club, which sounds a lot naughtier than it is, unfortunately. And then another one called Vogue went, and there's tons of others that I'm trying to get in and submitting auditions for things. So
He doesn't like to brag about the fact that his teacher basically said that if he was working now and stuff was out there, that she would hire him if she was in position to do it. Like, he's really good.
Yeah, he is. I've
So
seen all the
good.
demos. Are you kidding me? They've been amazing.
Right?
I have fun making those.
Yeah.
It's even like this one. I mean, I was just going to do the audio, and then I said, no, I want to put video to it. That's I got the UFO. I had to have that. So
Very cool.
Nice.
And Disputed Pod, you guys just finished up your last bracket.
We're
Well,
half season.
Demon, 16 scrapper bracket.
It's way too big.
Jack Reacher came out on top, as I had expected.
But you called that it would be Reacher against Wayne.
I did. Wayne didn't make it as far.
He did not make it as far as we thought he would.
yeah, not enough Letterkenny fans out there, unfortunately. But
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah,
I've-
I guess Wayne. A lot of Letterkenny fans think Wayne is weak or something, or something.
Ooh.
Otherwise, they would have shown up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you don't want to say that to Wayne's face. So how are you now? When is that going to come back? When are you guys going to do your own season 11?
I think the plan is right now is after we do the table read, we're going to get things in production, and we'll probably start at the beginning mid-March.
Nice. That's I think when they're going to start shooting Shoresy too.
Right, that is
Shoresy 2.
hopefully.
Do you mean as well?
My puck.
As well. As no, Shoresy season
The
2.
second season.
Anyway, that's great. Well, we're looking forward to hearing you guys back on. Adrian can't wait to hear you guys talk about Letterkenny again. We're going to do that tonight, though. So, yeah.
Is that why we're here?
Yeah, that's why you're here.
I hope you did your homework.
But before
did you guys even watch
supposed to watch
season?
that show?
you can wing it.
For the record,
You can wing it. Mhm.
Dean and I have now watched the season twice, which is more than we usually do before we actually record for our show.
Okay.
So we have not done any kind of deep dive or any like we haven't listened to your show or anything like that. It's just strictly like we watched it when it first came out, and then we watched it again yesterday, and here we are.
It's all good. We don't get too deep into this either. But before we begin, I think we need a pick me up. Let's listen to this word from our sponsor. Where is the one I want, though? I want this one here.
Hey there, how are you now? Good and you? Not so bad. You want to talk about coffee? I was going to say coffee squirrely, Dan, as in diabolical coffee.
Okay, I am sorry for my outburst earlier.
Apology accepted, cunt. Now, as I was saying, they got the stuff at the produce stand. Isn't that right, Dickens? And maybe we should let Glenn handle the read? Well, it is devilishly good coffee and diabolically awesome swag. And speaking of swag, I've designed some new t-shirts. Want to see? There's a roast for all tastes. You can order bean, whole bean. Can I get a course? We've got a course. Let's get standard grind going once. We got espresso in the back. K-Cups really should be part of this conversation. Use the promo code Produce Stand for not 10, not 15, but 20.
That's 20% off the purchase of any coffee or merch.
What if I get a Bit of both.
Well, then that's 20% off your total purchase for a grand total of 20% off.
Sold. Speaking of merch, I've got these t-shirts. That's enough, Pastor. Last time I had coffee this good, I was down in Dominican with a few buddies. These tasties. McMurray. Thank you, Diabolical Coffee, and Eric for your support.
Yes, thank you, Eric, for your support. And thank you,
Brilliant.
Dean, for doing 90% of those voices there.
Brilliant.
I don't think I've listened to that since you first made it. I almost did a spit take.
I knew that I did it, but I couldn't remember what everything that was in it.
And that was a great job you guys did there. And you did, and Matt, too. You guys did an amazing job. And speaking of support, welcome to new Twitter followers. We have Steve Wynn, Primal Carnivore from Pennsylvania, Captain Canada from Ontario, one of our Discord Degens, at New Jersey Insurance Guru from New Jersey, Eric from Kansas, Chris Parks, Vito Papasodora from Caldwell, Idaho, East Wicca, at Red Sasquatch 83, Barnaby Jones, Eric Keynes from Park Hill, Ontario, Cameron McCaw from Minnesota, Anthony Frost from Augusta, Georgia, Meg from
Massachusetts.
Robert B117, Myra Jose from Minnesota, Jennifer, Mark Torcelliti,
Josie.
James from Pennsylvania, Nadine Bailey, Brandon Murphy from New Sharon, Iowa, Chandler Reyes. I'm not even going to try that. Key Bear Raggy from USA. Anyway, Firewatch of Liberty, Steve and the Wars Orchid from Samaria, North Carolina, Brian Harris from Gardner,
Massachusetts.
Iceman, Let's Go Pens, Robert from Appleton, Wisconsin, Jeff Dell from Colorado, at J Murph 57 from Tupelo, Mississippi, Bobby Mick, Hakan Found, Manny J from Kansas City, Missouri, Deuce, Austin Flowers from the Erlenmeyer Flask, Warren Wright from Langley, British Columbia.
Thing.
Okay. Mayu Amarante, AJ Louis from the United States, Jason Crawford from Crow's Nest Pass, Alberta, New Amsterdam from Brooklyn, New York, Jeff Horn, Briz, Tony Gladstone from Phoenix, Arizona, Andrew Alfano, at Nova 420 King from Halifax, Nova Scotia, John, Jill Van Bell from North Carolina, Sports on Top, Detroit from Detroit, Michigan, and KX Unscripted from Florida. Thank you for listening and hopefully for following.
Previously on Letterkenny.
Last week, we recapped and reviewed season 11 finale Degens. That episode got a fresh rating from our guests Joshua and Jeff, and a clearance from Victor, Tanya, and myself. According to our scientific Twitter poll, with 113 votes, 53.1% of you gave this episode a fresh, 40.7% gave it a clearance, pretty split down the middle there, and 6.2% gave it a compost. So this week, we recap and review season 11 with our friends Dean and Tiara.
Well, don't bore us, get to the chorus.
So here we go. We're going to start off with episode 1 called Chips. Our guest for that episode was Mike B. We start the season off with a TPS version of Acrobat Aerobics, courtesy of our amazing writing team of Tate and Webb. Here's just a little sample from that clip.
Podcast. Precisely, a podcast of a produce persuasion. Perhaps one produced by the paragon and pinnacle of prize-winning podcastery.
Q-tips?
Quite quickly, the quandary of quality Q-words.
Ready?
Recap, rate, and rank. Rightly realizing requisite reviewing requires rounding up the regulars.
So...
Send a sign, seek the squad, set your spatulas to stun, starting with the supreme sublime synthesis of sweet and sass.
Tanya?
Totes. Then take the time to throw the titan of ticky takedowns and tempestuous terror in there. Undoubtedly, unequivocally, unmistakably, the undeniable ultimate in umbrage.
Victor.
Verily, very vocal, very vindictive, very vicious, very Victor.
Well?
Well, what? Why are we waiting? What else we want?
Excited?
Extremely.
You?
Yep.
Well then, zig?
Zag.
Zoom.
And in the first episode, the Hicks try to determine which chip flavor is the best in order to come up with a flavor of their own. Despite what we all thought of this episode, it did succeed in igniting passionate discussion all over the interwebs about which chip flavors are the best, including our podcast.
The chip thing. So really quickly, chips. Dill's an abomination. Saying that, no, fuck all you.
Dill's an abomination.
Oh, I'm sorry, we can't be friends anymore.
Dill's an abomination. Caesar, what the fuck would that even taste like?
Yeah, that would taste horrible.
That feels like it's going to be more than two ingredients.
I don't like Caesars, but
Neither
what
do
are
I
you
now.
what are you flavoring it against? The ensemble of buffet you put on top, or the fucking soup that you have in the glass? I don't know.
Maybe
So
they
there's-
meant the Caesar chip. Or sorry, the Caesar salad.
No, что с тобой такое?
No, I took it as they're talking about Caesar.
Bloody Mary.
It's Bloody Mary.
Oh, did they say
Bloody Mary?
Yeah, and that was definitely So you know what's funny? If you want to go back to your theory, Tan, just hit me about Jared
I'll
and
hit
team
you.
taking our conversation about chips and turning it into dialogue. When we talked about the Caesar episode, a lot of people didn't know what a Caesar was.
Yes.
So in this one, he purposely went out of their way to say Caesar or Bloody Mary.
Yeah, that was a weak move. That's like Fox putting a glow around.
It's true. I agree with you there, Victor. That was a weak move. He shouldn't have had to. What would you call that? America-splain? What a Caesar is?
But that was a big conversation with us. Because remember my stupid little flawed Twitter scientific poll that Victor didn't like? That was all about that.
That was fucking 10-ply. I'm sorry.
So who knows? Maybe you're onto something, Tan, there.
Anyway, so yes, that did ignite a lot of conversation all over the place about what the best chip flavor is. Before I get your ratings, well, first of all, we rated it. I gave this episode a fresh. Victor gave it a compost. Tanya gave it a clearance. Matt gave it a fresh, and our guest Mike gave it a clearance. So it was, it wasn't a highly rated. Matt, and I with the fresh and everything else below. First of all, Tiara, I know you're originally from Canada. What's your favorite chip flavor?
Oh, okay. So I would just like to remind everybody before I say this that I am autistic. So like I very rarely am gonna try new things. I've been a sour cream and onion fan like my entire life.
Nothing wrong with that.
That is probably my number one. Maybe cheddar and sour cream would be the next one.
That's good too, yeah. But,
but
and like what
really
brand?
hard.
Like Old Dutch or Hostess or what? Lay's? Or does it matter?
I like Pringles. I know I'm one of those ones that like Pringles. But no, I can't think of. It's not Lay's. It's not Ruffles. There's another brand that's big here, and I can't think of what it is. No, you got it. No, not at all. Okay, I don't have any idea. I know what the packaging looks like.
Anyway, it's the sour cream and onion flavor.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. Yeah,
it's a great staple.
You got to be a DJ not to like sour cream and onion. I mean, it's a good flavor.
What about you, Dean? You strike me as a barbecue kind of guy.
I'm kind of all around. I'll eat anything. In a way, I kind of agree with Derry about the classic. But I also very much enjoy all dressed chips.
I've never had all dressed chips or ketchup chips.
Ketchup chips can eat.
You mean salt and vinegar with a zing?
Shut up, Victor. Adults are talking here.
Nobody likes ketchup chips. Anybody who's done is just lying about it.
I love ketchup chips.
Miss Vicky's just up here at least put out a spicy ketchup chip. Spicy ketchup Miss Vicky's. It isn't bad. If you like,
he doesn't like ketchup. You're not going to convince me.
I know, I get it, but I don't hate ketchup. But yeah, I can have like maybe a handful, and that's it. And then I get tired of it.
Some sriracha chips.
Oh, that would be.
I would try that.
I would.
I'm sure there was at one point a sriracha.
Yeah,
I believe we did that once.
I can't imagine there's not a sriracha.
I like butter chicken chips.
Butter chicken?
You're just making things up as you go.
No,
we've got some pretty weird flavors in
No,
now.
I got you on that.
We have like buffalo wings and oh my
No,
God.
not buffalo wings. Butter chicken.
yeah,
You're
There's a
not listening.
masala one now.
Oh,
and
yeah,
there's
not
actually
bad.
there's a cucumber one.
That's just I don't understand.
I don't like.
You mean
Cucumbers don't
Bill?
taste like anything.
No, I know.
I know.
Or gross water.
It's like it wants
Yeah.
to be pickled chips.
Crunchy,
I
a
feel like
crunchy
cucumber would be like tzatziki flavor or something, because that's basically cucumber and
Tzatziki
something.
is garlic, and cucumber is a cucumber. It's not.
Cucumber by itself
Cucumber is
literally
only
has
a cucumber
flavor.
when it's a
Cucumber is
Like
water
celery.
with some green
pretty,
around
yeah,
it.
cucumber on its own is pretty 10-ply. Anyway, so in this episode we have the chip storyline.
I love cucumbers with a little bit of salt on it.
Ooh, vinegar. You got to stick some vinegar on it.
So if you have to dress it up, then it alone isn't it isn't much. But anyway, we had the chip flavor storyline. We also had the Fitzbo
Yeah.
storyline in this one that had Victor very confused, and I believe is the reason for Victor's compost.
We learned a lot
rating.
this season.
So why don't you guys tell us what you thought of this episode on the surface, given that you've watched it only a couple of times?
I mean, I thought it was great. I liked it. I think my thoughts are it's silly, the entirety of it, but it's engaging in its silliness.
Yeah, the fishbowl discussion cracked me up.
Yeah.
Like just the over emotion.
I'm sure there's something that was based on that I don't know. I don't know if you know.
In town meetings, probably.
Well, I mean, if that was based on like 12 Angry Men or something.
No, we looked it up with what a fishbowl thing was, and it was it was kind of a device used in kind of universities or whatever, where you have
it's a teaching tool.
It's a teaching tool where you have the center circle are the people who do the talking, and the people on the outer circle are taking notes and stuff like that. And yeah, I didn't.
In teaching though, you like take one out and bring one in at periodic times.
Yeah.
Everybody does have a chance to be in that inner circle and share their thoughts.
Yeah.
But,
So I hadn't heard of it before, but yeah, some of the teachers in our audience were
This
like,
one
yeah,
felt
that's
like more. This was more like an elite circle.
yeah, all the cool people in the
very
middle.
much like, the cool people. We all trust these guys.
Right. Yeah.
Apparently, putting the skids in there though. Like
I love that Gail. I love Gail as the moderator though.
Yeah, she was great. Yeah, she was great. And what did you think of that Fitzbo storyline?
I thought it was hilarious the entire time. I mean,
did you understand what Fitzbo was, or did you have to look it up?
No, I knew what it was.
Okay.
I mean, I've been on Instagram.
Okay.
So, I'm not new to the social world. I've seen the influenzas and the ones the fit spin influenzas. So yeah, I'm not too surprised about it. And yeah, I
thought it was a pretty good take on that kind of ridiculousness.
Yeah. And also it's, I understand, it's kind of talking about in essence, like how Riley and Josie really aren't maybe as straight as they think they are, if they could be nudged that way. So I kind of like that. I mean, just the way what if it was
I think honestly with Riley and Jonesy, it's not gay as long as it's with each other.
Yeah.
Like that's my thought in their heads.
They'll sleep hole to hole.
Right. Okay. So final rating for this episode, Tiara, what would you give this one?
I gave it a fresh.
Yeah. Okay. And Dean?
Same. Fresh.
Same. All right.
Yeah. My MVP was Bonnie
McMurray.
Yeah.
At the very end. That was honestly like I laughed so loud because that would be me. Like I absolutely have been like, the fuck are y'all doing here?
So
like, what?
I gave my MVP to Glenn.
Yes.
Victor gave it to the folk song at the end. Tanya gave it to Ron. Matt gave it to Glenn as well, and Mike gave it to Bonnie. So Mike agrees with you guys, or you both give it to Bonnie?
Yeah.
All right.
Is that what I said? Because I told TR and she wrote them all down.
No, I wrote mine.
Oh,
down.
did you? Okay.
I don't know what.
Okay, no, that's fine.
I wrote mine.
You were the one. You were the one with the papers. So.
Yes.
No, in this episode, Bonnie was all of us walking and going, "What the fuck's going on?"
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't get it at all, but I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Excellent.
Yeah,
right.
I knew that I was getting it because it's a teaching method, and I was literally watching it going, so many people are so confused about what is happening.
Well, yeah, and I had to look it up. I didn't know what the hell a fishbowl was. I thought it was, did they just make this shit up?
Or Fitzbo.
And Fitzbo. So yeah,
we had to look a lot of things up.
Yeah, in this season opener, we had to look a lot of things up.
All right, Americans who started watching Letterkenny season 1.
Right?
What the fuck is Ferda?
Yeah. If you ever go back and listen to our early seasons, I literally had a little section. Here are the words that are new to us, and here's what the internet said they meant.
That's right. All right, let's move on to episode 2, Okoya. Our guest was Liz for that episode, and here's just a little reminder what that one was about.
While the boys await furniture delivery, at the church there's a bit of a mystery. The cash has been plundered, so Stuart brings the thunder, solving crimes like Lord Agatha Christie.
All right. In this episode, Stuart plays detective and tries to solve the case of the missing bake sale funds. Meanwhile, Wayne and Squirrely Dan oversee the delivery and assembly of Katie's Okoya furniture. So don't ask me why we got on the topic of sleep training babies, but we did.
Oh, it's called the Ferber method.
The Ferber method, yes.
Yeah. They use that in the Meet the Parents, isn't it?
When
I don't know.
Or the Falkerizing them.
It's a big, heavy book. You use it to knock them out. You hit them over the head.
No, like, I mean, the whole idea, the whole point of the book is to teach them how to sleep on their own.
Yeah.
And
self-soothe
and doing that in a way where you're not making them think that you're abandoning them. And that's the key. People who there's some controversy about the book, but everyone that's on the other side, they don't get it. They're the same ones that will breastfeed their kids till they're 7 years old. You know what I mean? Like, these are the whatever. Like, I'll speak my mind. Like, anybody that
speak your truth, Victor.
Yeah. So they're the kind of the wacko group. Sorry for anybody in the community that's in there, but it is what it is. But the book is great, and all the happy couples in the world have used this method, and
all the happy people.
Yeah.
Adrian says not to be confused with the Fitzbo method, which is, I think, you just give the kid gay porn and let him go to sleep.
There you go.
Looking through gay porn. So yes, what did you guys think of Okoya? We'll start with Dean this time.
It was humorous in places. Probably one of my least favorite episodes of the season. It had moments, I'll say, but they were a little few and far between. I liked some of the, always love watching Rolled and love Tanis. So, Rolled, Tanis, and Coach is those.
Yeah, Coach is great.
Yeah. But I mean, there's nothing that really stands out to me about the episode. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah. What about you, Tiara?
It kind of felt very similar to like the first episode. Like, it didn't feel like there was any real, through storyline that was happening in there. And it kind of felt like, personally, I wish that it had been in a different place in the season and not maybe back to back with that one. Like, I enjoyed it for what it was. I always love a good murder mystery, and I thought Stewart's overacting was just like perfect. And Rolled always. And Tanis's nails, I just am obsessed. But that's really about it. Like, it felt there were spots that I felt could have been better.
Sure. I mean, you guys are kind of right down the middle. Same with us. Matt gave this one a fresh, but I gave it a clearance. Tanya gave it a clearance. Liz gave it a clearance, and Victor with his second compost in a row. And I mean, Lau, what you're saying, he was echoing, like, this is not a way to start a season. These first two episodes felt kind of not a great way to begin the season.
It didn't feel like there was any storyline that was emerging that should have been.
I think the point we were trying to make, though, was that the previous season didn't really end off. The previous season was kind of just setting up Shoresy, right? How him leaving Letterkenny. So they didn't leave any Letterkenny storylines to pick up, really.
I mean, they could have, like, there are a few things they could have done. Like, they did kind of with the Degens and Gail relationship.
Yeah.
I do wish that they had kept going with that and turned that into something this season.
Instead,
like,
they dropped it.
Wanted at the end of last season.
And they drop it so quickly.
Yeah, it really did. I don't know. It felt like the last couple seasons have, and I know COVID, et cetera, because everybody has had shitty few years here. But like, it definitely felt like there was a lot of great ideas that they couldn't turn into one cohesive story. And so that's why we're getting episodes like this. Like, here's a fun idea, but it doesn't have anything to do with anything else. And that's
Victor,
fine.
what do you have to say about that?
They were two special episodes that you would normally get at the end of a season,
or in the middle or something.
Like the middle and the end.
It's like the season didn't really start until the third episode.
And we were also noting that we noticed a lot of the actors were paired up with each other. Like, even in the church, they were paired up.
Probably a function of the pandemic at the time, right? They had to
That's very likely that they were still doing social distancing or bubbles or something.
Well, because
like
those 2 seasons were shot together, right? So they were shot together in the middle at the beginning of the pandemic. I don't even know if vaccine was even available yet or not when they were doing that. Maybe it was, but anyway, it was very early on when those 2 seasons were.
You guys got the vaccine late, right?
Yeah, you got it later than.
Yeah, we got it after you guys. Yeah, you guys monopolized the supply for a while.
Woo, American exceptionalism.
Anyway, all right. So, I mean, given all that, Tiara, what rating do you give this?
I went back and forth on fresh and clearance. I think I settled on clearance though.
Okay, and Dean?
Yeah, I'm the same. It was.
No, you were more clearance than I was.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I've ever given one compost that I can recall, but
is this one close? You don't have to. I'm just. Is this the closest you got?
I don't know if it would be. No, I wouldn't say it's close because, like I said, it had its moments.
Sure.
I don't think there's ever been one where I haven't at least laughed some. So I don't think I would ever compost any of them.
Yeah. Okay.
This would be one that you would quote.
That's my job.
Probably.
Yeah, that's Victor's job. Yeah, he's the dream killer. We go on to MVPs. Matt gave it to Gail and Coach, which they were a lot of fun in this episode. I gave it to Stuart just because I thought he did a lot of the heavy lifting in the episode, and I thought he did a great job. Victor gave it to Docking.
Not soaking.
We'll move on from that. Tanya gave it to Gail, and Liz gave it to Gail and Coach as well. So, Tiara, who would you give the MVP to for this one?
Tannis's nails.
Tannis's nails. Okay.
And I got to say, because no one's watching, they're only hearing. Dean, you did Tannis's nails so well when Tiara was like, yeah, Tannis just, right? You like, it's like I'm watching Tannis. It's like
I watch Tannis
intently.
Yeah, we have similar taste in women.
Yeah. That's why it works. Dean, who do you give it to?
Jen's stud finder.
Okay, why not?
Just go ahead and point that up here.
I love that Wayne kept trying to get that joke off and like nobody was biting.
One of those guys, the white guy, the Okoya guy, he is a DJ, and some of his music is featured on Letterkenny. I forget what the group is called that he's in, but I remember because I found him on Instagram, and I'm like, hey, I remember seeing those guys when I was looking up Letterkenny music. So yeah, that's the connection there. We move on to Lost Dog, episode 3, and arguably, if you listen to Victor, the real first episode of season 11. Our guest was Casey, and let's listen to what that one was about.
A dog has gone missing and the gang's on the hunt because Jiven and Thibodeau are both fucking cunts, seeking Gregory in the tea leaves near the fences and horses, where he's found in a house full of dicks once.
Okay, in this episode, the Letterkenny gang set out to find Gregory, Jive and Pete's lost dog. We learn a lot about dog facts, and we get the return of the dicks in this episode. But my favorite part was when our guest Casey came on the pod to unload on Victor because of his ratings on the previous 2 episodes.
Yes, Tobias, I love you outing me in the chat. I am grooming Victor.
Casey is grooming Victor.
Absolutely.
I don't feel like he needs grooming for this episode, though. I could be wrong.
No, he doesn't need grooming for this episode. He needs to understand the trilogy of this season so far. He needs to understand that this is Jared bringing people out of the Shoresy haze and back into the Letterkenny universe. And he's saying, wake up, it's Letterkenny. It's not Shoresy. But here you go. Here's some Shoresy. So anyway.
He could have done that without the first 2 episodes, but anyway.
Listen, you can take that up with him when he sends you whatever gifts he's going to send you after this season and the letter he's going to write you, okay? God, go cry on your last letter from Jared. Jesus. Anyway, I love you. I love you, Victor. Don't get me wrong. I really want to bring up your train tweet later.
Most of those notes in Casey's notebook aren't from this episode, but they're from the last 2 live streams. She wrote down everything she's wanted to say to you. and she's doing that right now, Victor. Do you know that? Do you realize that?
This was all a setup. That's why she's going first.
So right. I just hope everybody feels like this is a spiritual experience and not a reaming. I love you, Victor. Okay.
And we love Casey.
I love Casey so much.
She's so much fun. And but she
makes a great Mrs. Mac for me.
She does. Oh, she's
anyone is going to be Mrs. Mac for you, and it's not me. I'm totally down with it being Casey because that was hot.
Yeah, it was great. and I just found it hot the way she was reaming Victor there. It was awesome. Casey was all of us in that episode. Dean, what did you think of Lost Dog?
It was funny.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of, when I first saw it, I was kind of, okay, we're talking jiving Pete and Thibodeau again. So where are we going with this?
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that had to have a story. So, cause I mean, as expected as it not having a story as Letterkenny has been, remember Victor, that it is not Shorzy. It doesn't have the full storyline.
But there's always threads throughout entire season.
But it just depends on when. It doesn't always happen at the beginning. Does it? Sometimes it happens.
I've complained. This has happened.
But it happens. And this is a sketch show. Yeah. This has always been a sketch show. And I mean, that's how we all got hooked. So I'm not going to crap on, the side show, sketch shows versus a story show. They both hold their own purposes, but I thought the episode was great. I love watching the interaction of Glenn and Rosie, the reverse of each one's and the answers that are getting back.
Yeah. That was really well edited. Yeah, it was good.
And Dan and the tea leaf shaped like a dick. I mean, I thought it was a great episode. Even if this had been a standalone, I think it would have been a great episode.
Tiara?
I enjoyed this episode. I got a little heated, and we'll probably talk about it way more when we are doing this episode on our show. But I need to state for the record that I feel like the hockey boys were done wrong in this episode. Like, you tell someone you're going to be there, and then they're not there. You are not responsible for then, taking care of them. Talking about the girls who came to
right. Sorry, I forgot about that storyline. It was kind of thrown in there.
It was a brief storyline,
but it was like the one that really caught me, because I was the boys got stood up basically. They didn't call or text or anything, and then they showed up just expecting them to they should
have called Katie in.
That's right. Yeah, April and May. That's right. I've completely forgot. But they got him back so brilliantly.
They did, but I don't feel like they deserve to be gotten back. That's kind of where I was going. Like, I feel like they got done wrong in that. Like, that wasn't.
Don't show up late.
Those girls fucking ghosted them.
Yeah.
Like, did not call and were late for their thing. Like, if someone's late for a date with me, I am not going to then continue waiting for them, as long as the boys seem to have been waiting for those girls.
Yeah. What did you think? What did you guys think of the reappearance of Shorzy in Letterkenny? Like, after they made such a huge deal out of him leaving Letterkenny.
I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. Unless they're, because one of the things that we've always talked about is, does any episode live in any particular time?
Yeah. Sure.
So maybe this is another time. So
maybe. I just feel like they missed out on an opportunity there to even make a really good joke, like having Riley Jones say, "Why are you back? I thought you left," and have him say, "Your mom's called me back." Like, they could have just done that, right?
That could have been easy.
But they didn't, and it was just like, hey, Shorzy's here, deal with it, right? But to me, it's like, I know there aren't like big through lines in Letterkenny, but at the very least, you made a huge deal of him leaving the Letterkenny last season, and then he's back without explanation. Like, there could have been some explanation.
And he's only back for like one episode, right?
Yeah. Well, so far, like, who knows what happens in 12? But
I wonder if it was one, because that was a standalone episode, really. No, not exactly. I mean, but it could have been that was filmed for something else, like, because that part could have been in any episode.
Sure. Yeah, it could have.
Filmed at another time.
Well, and again, the two seasons were shot at the same time, right? So
that's what I was going to say. It could have been, a lot of these feel like they were probably
interchangeable.
interchangeable, and they just tried to figure out which fit in which season the best. And there you go.
Jeff, I don't understand why it's so incomprehensible that Shorzy would visit Letterkenny again. It's his home. Is it his home? Is that where he's from? I don't know. Anyway, we'll move. So, Dean, what rating do you give this?
I give this a fresh.
Fresh. All right. And Tiara?
Fresh.
All right. The MVPs in this one, Tanya gave it to the Dicks. Matt gave it to Anita Dick, specifically. I gave it to Glenn. Victor gave it to Anita Dick. And Casey gave it to the Whispering Skids. Yeah. Tiara, who do you give for MVP to?
Anita. Almost any time she's in any episode, she's my MVP.
Okay. And
I love Sarah Wayne Callies.
I love the way she giggles at the most inappropriate times.
Totally.
It just makes the whole thing so
I
good.
think half of that is actually her just cracking up.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's, I mean, this, well, after having watched her in Walking Dead and then coming to this, I like her so much better as Anita Dick, but she's brilliant. I love her. And yeah, she's my MVP for this too.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Move on to Nudes. Oh, by the way, did I say that was the first unicorn that we had for season 11? We all gave it a fresh.
Nice.
Yes. Nudes, episode 4. Here's a reminder of what that one was about.
Now, the Degens are all pretty dumb, but Jiven might be as dumb as they come. He's been out spreading nudes, and now he is Scrooge when Katie kicks him square in the plums.
All right. In this episode, nudes of Gail are circulating in Letterkenny, and the Lady Hicks set out to find who the Degen is that leaked them. In the B story, the Skids strike a deal with Avi to help take the heat off of them, quote unquote heat off of them, and move some merchandise. In this clip, Victor gives his reaction to the cold open. All right. That's the cold open. Victor, what do you think of that cold open?
I thought it was 3 minutes long.
It was
about 2 minutes longer than it needed to be.
Okay. Yeah.
God damn it, Victor.
First of all, I didn't get the whole Italian narrow urethra reference. I don't know if that's a.
It's a sweaty herd.
What?
It's just what he heard. Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you said it was a sweaty herd. I'm
thinking this is becoming politically incorrect.
a sweaty herd? What the hell's a sweaty herd?
Well, when mommy and daddy
take that back. So, or at least take it down 10%.
I'm so glad I wasn't the only one who heard that.
Oh, fuck me.
So
I really wish Matt was here to explain that one because
afterward, he has commented. He's like, I did listen back to it. It does sound like I said sweaty herd.
That was immediately what I thought. I was like, what?
What did I miss?
I picked up on it right off the bat. I didn't even pick up on the sweaty herd part until it was
I can't hear that and not hear sweaty herd. Like seriously, I knew what he.
Now that I've heard that, I'm not gonna not hear it.
It's all good. Yeah, Laurel and Yanni. I remember that too. It was one of those. Dean, what did you think of this episode?
It was interesting. I mean, I'm surprised that nudes of Gail have not gone through Letterkenny way earlier than this.
True.
So, I mean, I thought it was odd that, I mean, because the reason she gave them to Jive and Pete is because she knew, I mean, and granted, he should not have done it. I mean, with that, I don't know if she had consented to that at all. Maybe she did.
It feels like it was a consensual, non-consensual thing. Like she
didn't have an issue
knowing that he would. She didn't seem to care. She was like, I'm getting calls for dates now.
Yeah.
Like we talked about it,
and
I was like, why didn't they ask Gail in the first place?
Yeah.
Like you heard that these things are going around. I need to go talk to my friend first, make sure you're
definitely.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you know who did this? Whose balls do I get to cut off?
So many sitcom episodes though would not exist if people just did the logical thing.
Did the right thing right off the bat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
you got Awesome yelling. Awesome's yelling in the live stream. She did not know. She's getting riled up. Anyway, sorry. Go on, Dee.
She literally says, "I'm getting so much business from this." Like she talks about how she is getting dates from this.
She said it's her business card.
I don't know. Maybe she means
maybe
Awesome means Katie didn't know, or I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Dean.
Anyway, so I think what I mean, looking at the next episode, I mean, it's kind of odd to me how all that worked out, but I always like I'm always a proponent of Katie
box shotting.
Katie King. So I love those. So
it's interesting because if you got
it was misplaced this episode.
You have the same opinion as Victor on that one, and Tiara, same.
I honestly, I don't hate that she kicked him.
I'm surprised she hasn't kicked him earlier.
Right. I do, like, from my own experience and how I watched the episode and how I interpreted the things that Gail said, it felt like a consensual non-consent thing, which is absolutely valid if that's your kink. It's not mine, but it felt like it was purposeful, that, you know, I don't know. I actually liked that part better than anything else in the episode,
right?
Because it showed Gail as this being something that she was like, oh yeah, I took power of it. I'm, you know, it's like my business card. Everybody now knows what I look like, and if they want to get laid, they know who, you know, what to expect.
Do me a favor, when you guys are planning your Hari Now episode, make sure Awesome is your guest for this one, because I want to hear it.
We're gonna schedule 2 hours for that episode.
That's cool. I mean, yeah, Victor had the same thing. To me, I just like the rule was established early in the episode that you don't leak nudes regardless.
Yes,
regardless. And so that's why
it was under a different premise. That the premise was about people in a relationship. You don't leak nudes of someone that, you know, shares she and Slimy Pete, they're not in a relationship. No, what's his name? They're not in a relationship.
They haven't even had any kind of.
As far as I'm concerned, she's the one that leaked her nude.
Yeah,
he didn't leak it. She leaked it. So it's like yeah, fine. If you like the box shots, great. But it was a misuse of a box shot in this one.
Okay, you guys want a ratings bonanza? Have Awesome and Victor on at the same time.
Oh my.
We'll listen.
No, Dean, we like you too much.
Yeah,
that's a whole lot of editing right there.
Enough, yeah.
That's just no.
Live stream it, and it's going to go as it goes.
So Tiara, what do you give this? What rating do you give this one?
Fresh.
Okay, and Dean?
I give it a fresh. Yeah.
All right. And our MVPs for this one. Oh,
You didn't give our rating.
Oh, yeah, it was we gave this one a unicorn. Again, this is the second unicorn of the season. We didn't really talk about the Avi storyline, but it was interesting.
A little weird
storyline, a little strange, but interesting. So that just goes to say that Victor's MVP for this one was Avi's kippa. His
to the Gentiles, the yarmulke.
Yes. So there you go. Tanya gave it to one-liners because there was a ton of them in there, and they were all great.
Oh my, there were so much.
Matt gave it to Daniel Harush. I gave it to Rold. Rold, that scene in the Skids basement where Rold is slithering around Stuart while he's sitting in the chair. Watch it. It's brilliance. Evan Stern deserves like an award for that scene. He's so good in that. And our guest Alistair gave it to McMurray. Tiara, who's your MVP for this one?
I'm giving it to Gail for all the reasons I've been arguing already.
Okay.
Nice.
And Dean?
Yeah.
Gail?
Gail has complete agency over her entire being, and she takes no shit and gives no fucks. And she will be Gail until the day she fucking dies, and I love her for it.
Excellent. All right, we'll move on to episode 5, Influenzas. Our guest on this one was Nick. And here's a reminder of what that one was about.
Influenzas descend on the farm to snap the cobwebby corners in the barn, but the McMurrays start to poachin', and Jivin' Pete is approaching to make amends for causing any harm.
So after a great cold open featuring Alexander, Letterkenny's invaded by influencers, and Katie takes full advantage to make some extra money so she can buy a pair of Doc Martens. Marianne and Lucianne get to coach the AAA girls hockey team, but first they must endure some mentoring, quote unquote, from Coach. In this clip, Tanya expertly changes the subject after Victor and I get into a bit of an argument over the episode.
I kept saying, why the hell? What this doesn't make any sense. No normal person will do this. So
again,
whatever
you're out of touch, bud.
That's okay.
What did you think?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. What did you think of it?
I think I love listening to you and Victor go on. Anyways, I'm craving summer sausage. That's my first, I really am. It's been a long time since I've had some summer sausage.
Ow.
And Miss Dick, she reminded me it's been a long time, and I want to get some.
I'll take you up to the I'll take you up to Tangiers Mall, and you can get some summer sausage.
So,
Be a short after show tonight, folks.
Oh my!
I told you she's letting us into her bedroom tonight.
Mrs. Dick, there, she is just wonderful. She is just so funny. I love how straight face she is, and her lines about having the sausage and and she just makes me crack up.
The blow in my face line.
It's been a lot, and how she delivers that line, not just says it but delivers it, and like, it's been a long time since you blew in my face. It's hilarious.
All right, Tiara, what did you think of this episode?
Oh, please ask Dean first.
Sorry. Oh, Dean, what did you think of this episode?
I thought it was great. I think one of my favorite parts in the thing is, and it really doesn't, unless you're paying attention, you don't notice because of everything that's going on, is all the boys sitting around the table with their little crackers around a big piece of sausage.
I mentioned that. Yeah, it was hilarious. It was sitting there with them. Yeah. Waiting to eat. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, it was
because I often sit at a kitchen table with my buddies around a charcuterie board, don't you? I mean,
totally.
I know. People who do
just still not just waiting. And it's like they're waiting to be told eat.
Yeah.
They made the perfect bite, and now they're waiting for the right moment.
Yeah.
Oh.
Excellent. Tiara, what did you think?
I thought it was funny. I unfortunately know too many people like those influenzas, and I don't like people very much. So it was, oh my God, every time I
wanted to punch her. So
right. Every time she would say that, I was like, the hockey stuff was in my opinion, I liked that storyline, I guess the B story, a little better. Not that, how it ended. I don't ever want to encourage the making fun of people, but because this is not, I don't do that. But honestly, this was like the perfect, like, having Coach think that he needs to teach these women how to be good hockey coaches, and then it turns out that no, the other ones were just like, we want you to see what not to do, so don't do anything that he just said. And the girls are like, yeah, okay. No,
see, I saw that whole thing as payback for the I don't know how many seasons back where the women's hockey team gets destroyed by the men's hockey team, and Coach made such a huge fuss about that. To me, that was kind of payback. Yeah, exactly. He's laughing. He's like wheezing, laughing at the thought that women could actually be as good as men at hockey. For sure, love that. So in terms of ratings, we gave it. Well, this one would have been a unicorn, except Victor gave it a clearance, not fresh.
Victor.
So it fell just short of a unicorn. But Dean, what would you give this?
I gave it a fresh. Yeah.
And Tiara?
I actually agree with Victor on this one. I gave it a clearance just because for me, there were a few things that just were too much. It was too much of the kind of people that I hate, and I did not enjoy watching them.
And I don't see what the problem is with having docs. I got under my desk right here, I've got 2 pair of docs.
Oh, I love docs. Yeah.
I have 3 in the other room. Like, I've been a docs person since 1992. There is a reason.
Our
Docs person is, but I do have bright blue hair and a nose piercing, so I don't know what I can say.
You're so many of those people.
Apparently I am.
You're that blue-haired person. You're that nose piercing person. Yeah.
We're the podcasting.
You're the podcasting
people.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with any of those. Don't worry. All right. Our MVPs, I gave it to Coach. Victor gave it to, I don't understand what he gave, Coach or Alexander or what the fuck, or both or something. He was something to do with coaching there that we didn't quite understand.
I believe it was Coach Alex. I mean, what's so hard to
Coach
remember
Alex
about that? Yes,
Alex
that's what I
isn't the
said,
coach, though.
Alex. You don't get it, but that's fine.
Exactly.
That's
No
all
one got it. You're the only one. It's in your brain somewhere. Tanya gave it to Anita Dick. Matt and Nick gave it to Alexander for that brilliant cold open. Dean, who do you give it to?
Olympic gold medalist Tessa Bonhomme.
Oh, yeah? No silver.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nice. Tiara?
No silver.
Yeah, and I'm married to that guy. Betty and Lucianne for me.
Oh,
Nice.
Excellent.
It was almost Anita because, like I said, Anita in any episode is usually, but like,
Yeah.
I just love them. I love the hockey girls. I love them.
Yeah, they're great.
Mhm.
And we move on to episode 6, Degens, where our guest was Jeff. And here's the limerick for that one.
Well, Wayne's got decisions to make. Seems Javin's redemption didn't take. So at Pete's place that night, the Hicks bring the fight, but then wonder what it all means in its wake.
So in this episode, Wayne tries to give Jive and Pete a chance at redemption, but Jive and Pete fucks it up. And in the end, Wayne has to cut ties once and for all with his former good guy friend. Riley and Jonesy plan Riley's birthday week party. In this clip, Jeff takes the Victor MVP game and turns it into comedy gold. Listen.
I had 5 guesses and none of them were right.
No, of course not. No.
Starting at the top, my guess number 1 was the pair of butterflies that flew across the screen and pulled open.
It's a pair of butterflies.
I didn't see them.
Guess number 2 is what appears to be a laundry basket on a shelf seen through the curtain on the back porch. Look
this.
closely, you'll see
I
it.
love this. Go on.
Guess number 3 was the pair of dragonflies that flew across the top of the
I
screen.
didn't see any of this shit.
Back left shot of the house.
So it's all perfect. Yes.
Number 4 is the 1970s couch cushion that was propped up in front of what looks like a dog house to the left of Wayne's truck when he pulls into Jive and Pete's.
Oh my God.
And like my legitimate guess was the greasy guitar strings in the closing song.
Oh,
nice,
wow.
nice. That's almost like Tanya's, so that's pretty good.
I
Very-
just say
very
tho-
close.
Those all sound like very Victor guesses.
They are. So yes.
No respect around here.
No. Tons of respect. He actually
You
took time
gave
to
it
put
to
pen to paper to write those
docking.
down. So
You gave
Yeah.
a MVP to docking.
you gave it to Meeg's turtle. No
It
one's
was a brooch.
whatever.
The game is dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Jeff was the MVP of that episode. I agree. Awesome. He was great. Anyway,
yes.
Tiara, what did you think of this episode? The actual Letterkenny episode.
I thought it was good. I always appreciate a good, fight. I was as a person who absolutely celebrates at least a week-long birthday. I was very upset on Riley's behalf that after the fight, the Hicks didn't go to his birthday party. Like, that's all he wanted was to spend time with his friends. And I'm glad that he still had fun with the friends that were there, but like the main Hicks didn't go after the fight. They sat there.
Did Tyson and Joy Boy go?
I don't think
No,
so.
they didn't.
They weren't with the Hicks.
They
No,
weren't
they
with the
weren't.
Hicks, but I don't
Well,
think
they probably went looking for their shirts because they threw them off before getting in the
Right,
truck.
I mentioned that to
It's like
drop them in the middle of the road.
How many of their shirts are just laying around somewhere?
exactly.
Everybody
right?
knows. Oh, there's Tyson's shirt. There's Joint Boys.
Dean, what did you think of this?
Yeah, I agree with Tiara about the it's odd for especially for Wayne not to talk everybody else into going to the
Yeah,
to the
I
birthday
feel like
party.
that would have been a thing. Is, he's a.
Even though he would say, I don't even know your fucking names. I he would
But
still
you asked me to go.
yeah. So yeah, it's a bit odd. Maybe they just didn't show up. Maybe they just chilled out for a bit, had a dart and a puppers and then went.
Like,
who knows?
literally, Dean was like, no, they went after. And I'm like, no, they didn't.
Well, what's your take on that ending? Them sitting in the dark at the produce stand? Because we've got takes. I've got a take especially. But anyway, I'd like to hear what you think.
Well, Yeah, it was odd. I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying. It was odd that they wouldn't go to the party, and that's how they ended that.
I think it was supposed to. I think they were really disappointed that the effort that they put into Jiving Pete failed so miserably, and that they had to do this thing. I honestly think they just completely forgot about Riley. Like,
I don't think they were in a partying. I don't think Wayne was in a partying mood. I think Wayne had to basically give up on a friend, and he didn't want to go to a party, and his friend and his buds stayed with him. I think
that makes total sense.
Yeah, because that explains the mood of the produce stand in the dark. We've never seen the produce stand in the dark.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
That's a good point I had not thought of.
Yeah. So, what rating would you give this, Dean?
A fresh. I mean, I loved the fight. The fight was good. I was the only one with the fight, so this season. So I enjoy a nice choreographed fight with all the beef coming at him. So it's
the slow-mo montage fight and everything. I mean, it was all well shot, and loved the song at the end there. But to me, it was kind of anticlimactic. They've fought the Degens so many times. Yeah. And always win. Like there was no doubt who was winning this. So it was just a beatdown for the sake of the beatdown. What do you think, Tiara? What rating would you give this?
I feel the same way about it being a beatdown for the sake of a beatdown, but you do enjoy those things about this show. It's about scrapping and drinking and insulting your friends in a loving way.
But still doing the right thing.
But still doing the right thing. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed the episode for what it was, but I definitely felt melancholy with this one more than I really have in other ones. Like it makes me honestly wonder what kind of feeling Jared was trying to instill in us at the end of the season.
I think like punishing your kid. You don't want to have to punish your kid.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
whatever. And it kind of bums you out to do that.
Well, here's the thing. We know they can do happy endings or touchy-feeling, warm endings, right?
Yeah.
This one here was deliberately done to set a mood. And I think the mood, Tiara, I think you're right. The mood was supposed to be a somber one.
Yeah. Like it's not the first time that they've had to quote unquote give up on a buddy, but it's the first time that we're seeing it happen. Because he had already been, he used to be a good guy, but then he turned into a Degen, and now he's trying not to be a Degen, and we respect that. And so we are going to invest our time and effort. Oh God, I know why I'm feeling melancholy. Okay, sorry. This is like art imitating life a little bit.
Yeah.
Putting your energy into somebody to help them fix their own life, and they choose not to do anything to help themselves.
Yep.
And
yeah, and they even reference back to you still honking and hollering at girls.
And yeah, old habits.
Oh, yeah.
Like he in the beginning, it seems like he genuinely sees himself as, I want to be better than what I have been.
And he thinks doing the minimum is good enough.
Yes. Yeah.
And that he's not done anything wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't want any criticism for the minimal amount of effort that he does put in.
So given all that, does that change your rating? Because I felt like you were leaning to a clearance, but
no, I still say fresh. The
fresh,
show
okay.
itself was good. I enjoyed the episode, but it left me feeling melancholy.
Yeah.
It left me feeling like, it didn't feel.
Yeah.
I won't say it didn't feel like a Letterkenny episode, because it still totally felt like a Letterkenny episode.
Yeah.
But end of seasons usually leave us like devastated with, a la now I can't remember her name, Marie Fred cheating on Wayne,
right, yeah.
Like we have these big things, so we're kind of expecting that, or some kind of
emotional note, like at International Women's Day. And
oh wow, yeah.
So instead of having something like that, we get something that leaves us feeling like, oh, now I'm depressed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely leaves you feeling a certain way. So just so you know, I mean, our guests, Joshua and Jeff, gave it a fresh, but the rest of us gave this one a clearance. It was yeah.
And I can understand that too, because like I said, all of those feelings don't negate the freshness of it, in that I enjoyed the episode overall. It just, it was different.
It was different. Yeah.
Would your clearance change if starting the next season there was a payoff for that happening?
That's what I'm hoping for.
Possibly. Yeah. I think so. I think that's a good chance. I mean, The clearance was definitely, the ending was perplexing. Only like in our episode when we started talking through it did we kind of start understanding it, and with some help from the live streamers who were yelling at us that we were missing the point. But I mean, there was this whole episode was a little. It's kind of a
It wasn't
weird,
just about the ending. There was
Yeah.
other elements about the episode that weren't great. Like one thing, Tiara, you said about, insulting lovingly. Rosie was not.
Yeah, Rosie
insulting,
was,
Squirrely Dan lovingly. That was
that
going
was
too far. So,
I think the whole since episode 1, season 1, whatever, that whole thread of Dan being this feminist has gotten stale, and so that's why it stopped feeling like it was a lovingly, like, because you probably get the same insults in.
well, but Rosie was being uncharacteristically mean.
No, it was
and
extra harsh.
judgmental, not just to Squilly Dan, but even to Riley, who just wanted to celebrate a birthday week. And it was just kind of weird. Like
a lot of them were
from
kind of
shutting them down.
From
Like,
Katie, you expect it, but from Rosie, it kind of felt strange.
the whole that guy.
Well, but
And
that
it
was just a
like,
device they used throughout the whole episode,
but
which was a funny device.
It just didn't feel loving anymore. It just felt like attacking.
Mm.
Like it like they were shutting them down. He just wanted to celebrate his birthday, and those poor little dum-dums, like they're so sweet and
That's
kind.
literally what I said.
right? It's like the kid just wants to have a birthday party.
Yeah.
Like, let him have a birthday. Stop trying to rain on his birthday, literally.
Anyway, we didn't hate the episode.
Yes, actually, let people like things.
Yeah.
He didn't hate we
definitely.
didn't hate the episode. It was a clearance, so it was but it was a somber ending
really
to the
different,
season.
yeah.
Yeah.
It feel really different.
As far as
I did feel the going back, because Dan, I think Dan has gone beyond the virtue signaling. I mean, he did that a lot up front.
wearing it on his hat.
Yeah. So this is kind of like it's a step back.
Yeah, it's an old joke that came back, and like they had a funny one with the doc thing on one level.
Yeah.
And then they kept going with it and tried to add other things in to have other people be that guy, whatever that guy is, the top knot or the whatever. And all of the things really came down to so what?
Why do you enjoy it?
Why?
You should
Why do you
that's weird that
care?
you enjoy that thing.
Yeah, but but
Yeah,
it left me going, why do you care?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it was a little uncharacteristic from all of them. Our guest Jeff made a good point that in that episode, everyone took a turn being that guy for something, right? Everyone, even like Derry with the top knot, he was that guy for that. Stuart being that guy for the bowler hat, and so on and so forth. So maybe they were looking for Rosie to be that guy for something, and in this episode, that guy she was shitting on everybody for some strange reason. I don't understand. But anyway, we'll move on to MVPs. Our guest, Josh, gave it to Jive and Pete. I gave it to the Doc Martin chirps, which I loved. Like the oi, 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 just everything about the Doc Martin was hilarious. Victor gave it to that guy device, which I thought was fun throughout the episode. It was fun. Tanya gave it to the song at the end, the montage, and Jeff gave it to Billy Buttrey for some of the gorgeous shots and some of the different angles. Did you guys notice that weird angle of the farmhouse from like the opposite
At night.
And at night.
Yeah,
the
there's some interesting shots there. So, Dean, who would you give it to?
Riley.
Oh, okay. Explain.
That's actually who I'm giving it to too, because happy birthday, Riley.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, he was enjoying life and enjoying himself.
He was just so
he was happy. I mean, he was happy to be just with Jonesy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when
I
anybody else was there, he was ecstatic.
Yes.
So yeah, let him.
Is that allowed? Can you give an award to Riley and not Jonesy?
Ooh, that's
Well, it's Riley's birthday, so he gets.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
All right.
He gets the brain
Now,
cell.
if they,
You'll allow
if
it, will
they
you?
shared a birthday, which I wouldn't be surprised about. I mean, it would not be surprising if they actually shared a birthday and Jonesy didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Oh,
But they're more math guys though, so you'd think that. All right, let's move on to season ratings. I wish Matt were here, but anyway, we'll start at the top of my lineup here. Tanya, overall, what would you give this season? Fresh, clearance, compost.
Oh gosh, it's hard because it didn't start out very, very good. It was very bumpy and rocky. But then it really picked up at the end or through the middle, I feel at least. Man, it's like really a hit and a miss. I'm trying to do a rating calculation and I wasn't ready for you. So
do you need a spreadsheet?
I probably
I can
do.
tell you gave it mostly freshes throughout.
I have one fret.
Just let the math do the work.
Yeah, you gave
I know,
you gave all
right?
the episodes freshes.
Clearance. What did I give?
My goodness.
Fresh.
Or you gave one clearance
Fresh.
there.
Yeah,
Fresh.
I mean, for me,
Clearance.
it's like
Clearances.
it's like it's fresh. I think the season is fresh, but it's touching clearance.
That's what I was gonna say. It's day 3. It's going on clearance probably tomorrow or maybe the next day, but it's still fresh. It's just,
It's right down the middle. I've given
Kenny, you're
3.
about to get the blue spatula. Come on.
I know,
I'm
right?
counting.
All right.
I did 3 clearances and 3 freshes.
Oh,
so I'm seriously in the middle. I'll give it a because I like. Oh dear Lord, yeah, okay. A low fresh. We'll go with the fresh because that's gotta win it.
Yeah.
You gave it an A- instead of a B+. Good for you.
Right.
You know what? I mean, I got to do the same because I think I did rate them all mostly fresh. I think a couple of clearances there, but yeah, it was just borderline fresh to clearance. So it's like right on the line there, but I give it a fresh. Victor, this will be more interesting.
Not really. The math is simple on this one. I gave 2 compost, 2 fresh, so those are cancel each other out, and we're left with 2 clearances. So guess what it is? It's a clearance.
All right. Well, that's fair.
Right.
Now, this one might be a tougher one. The season MVP. We won't bother playing the Victor game for the season MVP.
Oh God, thank you. That's my Valentine's.
Do you
present.
have one yet, or do you need some time to think?
I'm not even ready with that one.
No, I think I'm pretty. See,
Do you think?
dear Lord. Okay. God, I was really everywhere. So I had Ron and Gail and the Dicks. I had the Dicks twice. So
You wish.
Hey now.
I gotta give it to the Dicks. I put them down twice. And they stole when they were in an episode, they stole the show for me. They were fantastic. Anita gets it. And the other ones, with the music. So they made me laugh for sure.
Yeah.
I love when Noah Dick storms into the bar and it's like, what the hell? Why is he in the bar?
Yeah.
Like, we've never seen him in this space before. What's he doing? And then everybody running out the door and stuff. Yeah. So brilliant.
Pornographic.
All right.
So funny.
I would like to see some follow through on that.
Yeah.
Filming a porn at
And, yeah.
the Dick's house.
Like it got
The
to
murder
the point,
farm.
and especially because we got to the point with the Dicks that like when they had a full episode, it was like too much. Like they hit it once and it was good, and then twice, okay, and then third time it's like okay, we're losing some steam on this. But now it's like peppered. It's peppered into it.
Just a little bit of pepper. A little
Just
pepper
a little
on
pepper in it. Yeah.
All right.
So
It's
the first episode of the Dicks is still like clearly the best. I mean, nothing touches that.
Nothing touches the Dicks. Okay.
Touch the Dicks.
And holy sheet.
I will give.
and the sausage party.
I will give Dix my runner up, but I'm going to give my MVP. And again, this guy does the most with the fewest lines, but I can't. I just from the feeling of joy I got when he came on screen, I'm giving it to Alexander.
I knew it.
Can't argue with that.
I thought you were going to give it to Jim Dickens.
No.
No, but the scene with the
I will
scratch
not
ticket-
be hot tubbing with you.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
That was
Oh my
great.
God,
That was a
that
good
was
scene.
Alexander with the scratch ticket.
Yeah.
And like I loved that scene. I loved
so
how he
good.
was like, no, I love my life. Everything's good. Oh, you're so high and mighty because you just made what I make. Like, yeah.
Will you be vacationing in the Cotswolds?
That's great stuff there.
I loved him standing up for himself.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Victor, who's your
He ain't
season?
slow learning at all. He just looks that way.
Who's your season MVP, Victor?
I mean, for me, it's pretty easy because I can't use math for this one, but there was something that happened this season that was my favorite out of the entire series, and that was the cold open, which I think that was the third.
The hockey menu cold open.
Third episode. Yeah, so that was the hockey cold open was hockey menu. Easily the best cold open, and it's a very personal opinion because probably people that don't like hockey or can relate to the names and all that probably would gloss over it. But for me, I think that was one of the best cold opens.
Yeah, I didn't really even know any of the names, but I still very much appreciated it and thought it was well written.
Yeah.
So imagine how much more you'd appreciate it if you did know the names.
I got to put in football
right?
players. I was like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we don't watch hockey or regularly, but like we recognize a few of the names just without having too much hockey knowledge. So we knew what the whole joke was and how wonderfully it all went together.
Yeah, like it'd be like Dean looking at the menu going, I'll have the Peyton Manwich, please. And
it's like the wrestling one, except
would you like the half one? It's the Eli Manwich.
Oh, they're so good. Like I really enjoyed the wrestling one, but this was like way better than the wrestling one. So
well done. Dean, what do you think for season MVP?
You know what? I want Tiara to go first because I have a feeling mine is going to be the same as hers.
Okay, go ahead.
Now.
Oh, you don't? All right. Then I will go ahead. Gail.
Oh, okay. Yes, actually.
Okay.
We did not do this like
No.
I have it written down, and, like, I don't know what you're gonna say.
So you both have Gail?
It was going to be the same, but I didn't want to influence your opinion.
I mean, for me, Gail, because the two things that really stand out for me are the Nudes storyline and the fishbowl, which didn't make sense, but Gail was the best fucking thing in that whole episode.
Yeah.
And I say that having given Bonnie McMurray the MVP for that episode because it was hilarious, but overall that
well, throughout the season, whenever Gail's on screen, she's generally the funniest thing on screen.
Even Gail with Coach in the church,
in the pews,
in the pews, and still able to find a way to like body language and just
when you're only seeing like from her chest up, you still get all of that movement.
I love
that.
Yeah,
she must do Tai Chi.
Right? It does feel a little like Tai Chi. Like in the fishbowl, it was almost like,
Gail Chi.
Well, I don't know who Tai Chi is, but he must be well hung then.
That's about right.
All right, we're going to move on to some quick listener comments here. First, we have a comment here from regarding our interview with Drew McLeod from last week. Thanks. It was a great interview with Drew. He's one of the people that worked behind the scenes, and it was nice to meet him in person. First class people work on the shows. Everybody trusts everybody. That's from Billy Buttry. So Billy commenting on our interview with one of the editors. We also have our Victor correspondent, PJ McCarthy. Thanks for the explanation of the Pete storyline at the end. I absolutely love how they always have the porch railing blocking faces. I hope we don't have to wait too long for season 12. And my weekly shout out to Victor. I think he tried to call it the best line of the episode, but he got talked over. Squirrely Dan's mispronunciation of optometrist or whatever he was trying to say. Absolutely cracked me up. Thanks for letting me be part of this. And thank you, PJ McCarthy, for your comments, and you're getting a hippo from Victor. And our interview with Andrew Ansonen. Hey, Protestant Pod, just finished a goodie episode. Fantastic job. Awesome episode. Thank you, Don. And in season 2, he has to drop the line, have you ever tried bacon wrapped porcupine? That's from Bill Hughes. That's referring to Andrew, who mentions that he's a bit of an outdoorsman and he hunts and eats everything he hunts. And he mentioned how tasty porcupine was out of the blue. So if you haven't heard that, it's interesting. You'd think maybe become like in a shish kebab because it with its own skewers. No, okay.
Oh, wow, that is a dad
comes
joke
with its
right
own
there.
toothpicks.
Toothpicks, yeah. Anyway, moving on to just final comments. And Tanya, you get to go first.
Well, I got to say, I learned a lot this season. I did not know what Fitzbo was. Docking had to be explained. Alan had to draw me a picture, which then I later was able to recall and reference back to when I was making sausages one night and the two sausages were hooked to each other. And I thought
it got brought up in a prior season.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah. So I feel like I learned a lot. Dog facts, didn't know when they, and that was a lot of truth to that episode.
Yep. I looked a lot of that stuff up and it's true.
When dogs go astray. So yeah,
Fun fact,
learned a lot.
dog forgetting their name is also a very common thing as they get older.
Oh.
Because they're gonna, like, if dementia kicks in any way, like my mom's dog does not respond to her name anymore. She has no idea who we're calling when we yell for her. So
I didn't know that.
Dogs
Yeah, that's a really
nasty.
fun fact, hon. Thanks.
Well, it is because it's very similar to what was from the episode. Shut up.
Fun fact: dogs get dementia.
I didn't like it.
Fun
Makes
fact:
sense.
all
that they-
dogs die.
It's fun like a benign cancerous tumor.
Oh my! Oh, Victor, you just took it that
If it
much
makes
level.
anybody feel any better, for a dog
said
to get
benign.
dementia, they live a really, really long time. So.
Oh yeah, okay. So there's that.
Like her dog's 17. It's very okay.
Yes.
Wow, 17 for a dog. That's. I
What's
didn't
that in
even know
dog
that
years?
was possible.
Anyway, your
Oh,
final
in the
comments.
90s. In the 90s, I'm sure.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to next season because I got a little confused at the end there. I thought there was going to be a rave and there wasn't, so I'm still waiting for a rave to show up, and looking forward to that. So I'm not looking for it anymore. Thank you so much, Dean, Tiara. You guys were amazing. I love your laughter. I love your insight and all your clearances.
Have insight.
And
We're just full of shit.
yeah, I love it. I love it. Thanks for coming out tonight.
Of course.
Yes, thanks, guys. I appreciate you coming on and talking about season 11, even though you guys haven't started covering it on your podcast yet. Really appreciate it. Love having you guys on and making the time, and have a great time with your table reads, and can't wait for the next one. Yeah. So
Lots of
thank you.
characters in this one. Boy.
Yes. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, we probably need to get Tanya in on this one because right now there's not enough non-male voices.
More than lots of people.
All right.
Yeah, because there's how many 15, 16 characters in this one?
Wow.
At some point this week, I will actually get through going through the script again and writing down all of the characters so I can assign roles for everybody.
David Mack must be getting bribes from the Canadian Actors Guild to try to get as many of the actors in as possible in case the script ever gets picked up.
Right.
Victor.
Yeah, I mean, what else to say regarding the season? Looking forward to the next one, hoping that kind of, it's the better half of the seasons that they filmed together. Overall, I mean, there was a lot of really golden things that we had in the season, but there's also some stuff that was a bit puzzling. And let's say it's because of COVID and they just had to do what they had to do and puzzle things together that maybe they wouldn't have otherwise. But I'm really looking forward to the next one, but not as much as I'm looking forward to this season 2 of Shorzy. So I'm really looking forward to that.
You've been spoiled, son.
Yeah, I know,
I
but
fell
that's
in
all
love
right.
with Shorzy too. I get it.
That's all right. Well, Tiara, Dean, I mean, you guys were awesome. It was really nice seeing you guys again. It's been quite some time for me because I haven't been part of the table reads, but you guys were incredible. Really cool for you to come on, even though you haven't done your season yet. So that's we appreciate that about you, and wishing you all the best in your kind of your season that you're going to still cover. So that's going to be neat. But thanks for coming out, and that's it.
Tiara?
This season I'm really looking forward to our season and covering this season because I have a lot of notes just in the little bit that I've written. We talked a lot about stuff today, but I'm sure we've got so much stuff that I don't know if you covered or not. Eventually I'll know. But yeah, I love coming on your guys' show. It's always so much fun. I love your guys's, all of you guys's. And I love hanging out with you guys. Doing the table reads has been one of my favorite things that I've started doing since the pandemic started. And I really appreciate you guys doing that with us. Victor, if you'd like to join us, we would love to have you. We've got plenty of roles. You just have to be available.
Yeah, that's the challenge.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
And a woman. Apparently, you need to be a woman.
If you want Tanya to show up, just bring some dicks.
Summer sausage.
I'm pretty sure the
sausage.
dicks are in this episode. In the I think almost every one of the characters is in this.
Wow.
Even Emma's in this. Even Emma's in this.
Wow.
Yeah. So everybody's going to be doing 2 and 3 voices.
Somebody's going to be pulling double dick duty. All right. Thank you. And Dean.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Do you have any parting words?
It was fantastic being on there as always. I love you guys. I have, it's for me, the last year has been a bit rough. It's now that I think I've gotten settled and I'm finally seeing some light. I think, getting involved in voiceover stuff has really helped me. It's motivated me to do a lot of things. Good. And I mean, I'm thinking even more of, taking table reads and to another level where we're actually potentially even doing audio, not audio drama, but audio comedy, where we actually sit and record. Everybody has their part and records it and we edit it and put it together.
Right.
I would love to do something like that even.
Fun.
I know that's a lot of effort.
David Mack on writing some scripts.
That's I've been thinking
talking.
About, the one because he sent me one for practice for my voiceover stuff, and I looking at it, I'm like, this could be a cool video game. I mean, the premise of it. So I asked him, have you ever thought about that? And he first thought I was talking about tabletop games. I said, no, I'm thinking about video games because the premise of it was just really cool. Nice. So, but yeah, David writes some awesome stuff.
But even audio dramas, I mean, that genre of podcast is actually pretty big. Like there's a lot of really popular ones out there.
But I mean, I think if we sat down and brainstormed, hell, we can even do really lots of side characters of Letterkenny with a separate storyline.
Like some of the other 5,000 people in Letterkenny.
Yeah, sure.
Nice.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to play us off here with the song from the season finale that we're all, the one with the greasy strings that Jeff was talking about, Plugged In by Brendan Canning.
What comes out sound.
And that's all we have for this episode. We're taking a week off due to some scheduling conflicts, but we will be back the following week for season 11 Egg Hall Social. There will be drinks, BYOB, trivia, and prizes. You won't want to miss this. Don't forget to give our sponsor, Diabolical Coffee, some love. They're at diabolicalcoffee.com right now. You can use a promo code PRODUCESTAND for 20% off any purchase from their site. If you'd like to support the podcast, rate us on iTunes, Spotify, or become a patron. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at ProduceStandPod. Thanks for joining us. Now we're going to go join the rest of the Degens in the after party. On behalf of Tiara, Dean, Tanya, Victor, and myself, thank you for listening. Have a great week.